I remember somebody saying, once you become an adult, you're responsible for what you do with your life. Um, that attitude is, in fact, that attitude of individual responsibility is, in fact, part of the environment in the United States of America. It's part of the reason why our social support systems are so stingy. We hold the individual responsible for their position in life. Okay? In third world countries, weak individuals who for one reason or another can't make it, are picked up by the extended family. In Western European countries, weak individuals are picked up by the government. In America, weak individuals are homeless. Also, the doctrine of individual responsibility also automatically works against traditional morality. The difference between a person who is successful and a person who is homeless. Okay, if the person is a woman, the person who at least has the roof over their head and is supposedly respectable, the person who is sneered at because they're paying for their meal with food stamps, is that the person who pays for the meal with food stamps and gets sneered at did not have an abortion when they got pregnant. The person who lives out of their car did not have an abortion when they got pregnant. Okay. The responsible person, the person who showed more individual responsibility, is the person who was willing to put aside their, what you might call traditional morality and pose for a nudie magazine and earn some money. The person who wasn't able to do that is impoverished, maybe homeless. Okay? How you get treated is a function of how much money you have. A man who was with organized crime said people were always very happy when he went to an expensive restaurant. He could tip. He could tip very generously. They didn't care how he'd gotten the money. They cared that he had it. By contrast, people who played by the rules weren't going to even get into that restaurant. Okay. Now you might think, well, you need the threat of, the wolf at the door as a motivator. Let me think of some cases where it was a motivator. Okay. This one guy, he happened to be a black man from a poor background. He was very slow, very much of a slow learner. And he tended to make a lot of mistakes. He'd gotten fired from a job, and he'd gotten fired from jobs previously because he had made a mistake, some sort of mistake in giving change or something. Okay, his wife and his brother-in-law said that they would throw him out of the house unless he robbed a store and gave them the money, since he was no longer able to contribute anything to the rent. Okay, he was very scared. But the fact is, he couldn't contribute anything to the rent. So he got drunk. And he went to rob the store. And the gun accidentally went off. And as a result, he did in fact commit what was legally first-degree murder. And he was executed because his wife and his brother-in-law testified against him. And he, of course, the store clerk was just an innocent person trying to make a living. You know, I can think of other, and I'm sure there are other cases like that, where, you know, the threat